YouTube, this is You Can Do It Dave, and what you are looking at in the video is a hand caned panel that's I don't know, 20 inches by 52 inches. Over the course of a year I hand caned this just to see if I could. I thought, hey, I really like the look of cane, and just for the heck of it I started caning it. Okay, I got this panel all nice and made up. Then I realized, well, geez, what am I going to do with this thing? So for my first video on YouTube, I'm going to show you guys what I made with my hand caned panel. And if anybody asks, the reason I call myself You Can Do It Dave is because I talk to so many people who will tell you, oh, I can't do that. Well, can you drywall a wall? Oh, no, I can't do that. Have you tried? Well, no, I can't do that. Well, do you know how to run a screwdriver? Well, no, I can't do that. It's like so many people out there just automatically assume that they can't do that. So you can do it. And this is Dave. So in this video and in the next video, I'll show you what I do and what I make with my hand caned frame here. Stay tuned. So let's begin. Whenever I start a new project, I always like to have a clear picture in mind of what I am aiming for to build. In this case, I'm going to be building a cedar strip caned back bench. So to begin with, I cut the red cedar and the clear pine nice and thick to be able to support a person's weight sitting on it. Here is a mistake that I almost made. By making the steel supports on the bench too small, it had a chance of buckling. So I upgraded to larger pieces of steel and added more risers to support people's weight. Once you have the seat boards and the seat supports figured out, you can go ahead and start gluing the seat together, making sure that each piece of board is custom fit for a nice tight finish. After letting it sit overnight, it's time to start the all-important sanding step, starting with a low, coarse paper, removing all the chunks of glue and stuff, and then working up to a finer and finer paper until it's nice and smooth. Since the construction of this bench is based on a cedar strip canoe, now is the time to start applying the epoxy and the fiberglass the same way you would for a cedar strip canoe. In this case, I epoxied the wood to seal it, gave it a light sanding, then applied the fiberglass itself, and then another layer of epoxy. Let that cure, and then sealed it all with yet another layer of epoxy. And while I was at it, I flipped it over and I epoxied the bottom of the bench as well, so that it would not absorb any moisture and cause the bench to warp or crack. With the completion of the seat, it's now time to turn attention to the steel frame, and as shown, I cut the steel bar, bent it, welded it, and then ground it smooth. In this way, I'm able to make a nice curved, rounded back while setting the angle of the backrest just to where I want it. After figuring all that out, it's time to cut the armrest steel, the leg steel, and get it all welded to the bench, getting ready for the final coat of epoxy. I did not really want a clear finish on the steel of this bench, so I went out and I picked up some black epoxy paste that is specifically formulated for boat epoxy. One of the things that I really wanted this bench to have was an adjustable back, so I welded on 2 steel nuts and a steel bar for a slider. In this way, you can loosen off the nuts, slide out the slider, and have the bench set up for a large individual, or you can slide the bars in, tighten down the nuts, and have it for a smaller individual. I hope you enjoyed my very first video on YouTube, and I look forward to showing you the second video where I finish the cedar strip caned back bench. This is You Can Do It Dave, signing off for right now, and I will see you next time.